Hello, I'm Robert Schnase, Bishop of the Rio, Texas Conference, and it's a privilege for me to be able to lead a couple of the pre-institute sessions at Church of the Resurrection on September 26th, and then to also present one of the plenary or one of the keynote addresses on September 27th. Now, many different people have been invited to lead different workshops, and I hope that you will consider sending a team to learn something about how to improve and multiply your ministry and to make it more fruitful. I particularly have been invited to address and to speak about a new book that's come out that is 5 Practices of Fruitful Congregations, revised and updated. So it's hard for me to believe that it's been 11 or 12 years since I wrote 5 Practices of Fruitful Congregations. And in ways that surprised us all, including me, that has become a resource for tens of thousands of congregations, and that book and its supplementary resources has sold over 650,000 copies. But as I look back at that old material from 10, 11, 12 years ago, I'm struck about how much our concept of the church has changed, how much our society has changed around us. Just looking at technology. The Facebook didn't exist 11 years ago, and nobody had an iPhone except maybe Steve Jobs. And so much has changed out there, but also the increasing number of people who identify themselves in our society as nones or dones. Nones, N-O-N-E-S, as they have no religious affiliation, or dones, they're done with the church. And so there's this growing number of people who will never see themselves, cannot imagine themselves stepping across the threshold of a church to enter into a church building or into a sanctuary. And as that number increases, it also means that how we do ministry needs to change. And we've got to shift from this, do things so well that they'll come and like what we like and eventually do what we do, to instead start thinking about how do we go to where the people are, where they actually live and work and play, and create ministries that bring to them the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. So the new 5 Practices is actually a complete rewrite of the original book. And it makes this shift. When I look back at the old book, I'm now aware of how much of what's written there is based on attractional assumptions. That all we have to do is get better at what we're doing and people will come to us. The new book is written from the point of view of a balance between some of those attractional assumptions, but with many examples of ministries based on missional assumptions, of thinking about how do we shift from not just welcoming guests who come visit with us, but how do we see ourselves as disciples, everyday disciples who are sent to where we work and live and play to carry the good news with us. And how do we shift from just doing things better to doing things differently? How do we shift from this idea that it's just about becoming more interesting to people outside us, to instead becoming more interested in what's really going on in the lives of people that we seek to serve in the mission field around us. So these are some of the topics we're going to be discussing. It's going to be rich with examples, just immediately relevant examples of how we can get our churches to make more of this shift so that we can fulfill our mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world in many more fruitful ways. So I hope you'll join me and join the others who are going to be leading this year's Church of the Resurrection Institute. And we hope that time together serves to be a blessing for you and for your ministry. God bless you. Thank you.